I was in my 6-year relationship, there were so many days where I knew what I was experiencing didn't feel right. I knew that I deserved better, but at the same time, I'd invested so much time, and we had good memories together. So part of me thought it was worth fighting for. And to be honest, I didn't have the best relationships in my life experience to look to say, okay, this is what a relationship, is supposed to look like. And so I was kind of just going off of my own understanding, definitely not going off of, what the Bible says. And long story short, I stayed in a relationship where I knew I was not getting the attention I deserved. I wasn't getting the dedication that I deserved. I wasn't getting the love that I deserved. And I stayed for so long because what he was giving me was just enough. It was just enough to keep me there, just enough to keep me at the same level. And every time I would start to complain and I would voice my opinion about the things that I didn't like, he would bump it up a little, but eventually we would still come back to the equilibrium of complacency, stagnation, average, and just good enough. And one day God just showed me a vision. I remember Pastor Darius preached a message. He talked about the grasshopper within. And God showed me a vision of myself, and I was in this cave, and I was afraid to come out of the cave, even though the opening of the cave was clear and it was free for me to go. After having this vision, it stuck with me, and I began to make a plan. I began to weigh, the pros and cons of me leaving and how I would leave and what they would look like. And at the time, I didn't have a job, and I knew I would have to go back home and stay with my family in order to start over. And that's what I did. And it was hard. It was rough. I wasn't able to find a job back home. It was a very trying time, and I found that sometimes, family isn't the safest place. And I know that it's sad to say, but for some of us, that is a reality, that sometimes you may not be as safe as you thought emotionally with family in a place of vulnerability.